how to know you've been doing the work and noticing how far you've come. Tonight's video is inspired by a few things. One, that today is the 6th anniversary of me quitting drinking alcohol. I started drinking alcohol at a very young age. I was 13. I almost died from alcohol poisoning at 14. 5 more minutes out in the cold, I wouldn't be here today to share my story of empowerment and inspiration for others who may be struggling, suffering, having difficulties in life. I'm here to guide and shine the light in those dark corners and provide you with a new hope as a progression, not a prison, and guide you towards faith and new possibilities. And then the second reason that I'm doing this video is because I saw Dr. Joe Dispenza's latest Instagram post. And then I saw something on a journal forum that made me think of Eckhart Tolle and the pain body. So if you want to know how far you've come on this journey and if you've really been doing the work, spend some time with your family and get back to me. So let's get started here. So recognizing the shift from reacting to responding. So when you first start on your personal journey of self-development and all that, it's easy to be swept up by reactions. You might face challenging situations or hear something that triggers you. And in the past, you would probably react automatically, perhaps with frustration, defensiveness, or anger. Reacting is often emotional, impulsive, and automatic. It's like hitting play on an old recording of how you used to handle things. And it's typically from different ages and stages of your life, and those parts are still in there. And sometimes they take charge and take over until you're truly doing the work and become aware and conscious. So as you're doing this inner work, something shifts inside of you. You start to notice a pause before responding. Instead of letting the initial emotion take over, you begin choosing how to respond differently. This transition from reacting to responding is one of the clearest signs of progress. So I remember working with one of my life coaches almost 4 years ago, and we talked about the purposeful pause. I'm not sure where that came from. I suspect it was Bob Proctor, but it really did help me. He used to actually mute me on Zoom calls. But it did something to me, and it changed me. It shifted things. At first, I went crazy. I reacted, but then I didn't anymore. I responded from a new place. And that's how I know that it was working. So the next thing, the role of becoming a curious witness. This is something that Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about, and I love it. So one of the most effective ways to make this shift is by becoming a curious witness of your old patterns. Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about this idea very often. Once you become aware of your patterns, you can observe them without getting emotionally involved. This means watching the thoughts and feelings that arise without judgment or being pulled in. So when I'm teaching yoga to my students, participants, clients, I will have them notice. So you're going to notice the thoughts that are coming up, notice the sensations in your body, and just allow without judgment, and picture them like clouds in the sky and let them pass on by. Let them float on by. And don't grab a hold. Don't cling on to. Don't attach yourself. Just let go. So, if a family member says something that used to trigger you, Instead of reacting, you can recognize those familiar patterns. Be like, okay, I see you, I hear you, I feel you. It's almost as if you're watching it from a distance, thinking, there's that old reaction. There's that old part of me. But choosing not to engage with it emotionally anymore. I like to use humor, and I'm very playful at times with those parts of me. And I've even named my pain body or my inner critic, Frank. And I'll be like, oh, yep, I see you, Frank. I hear you. Yeah. And I just let it go. So, yeah, I want you to just think about that. Let me know how that's going for you on this journey and if you've tried these things. The next thing is no longer giving emotional charge to old patterns. So as you continue this inner work, one of the most powerful signs of growth is when these old patterns no longer have an emotional charge. You stop getting pulled into the same drama or conflict or stories, and what once triggered you loses its power or hold over you. So this is what Dr. Joe Dispenza refers to as breaking the habit of being yourself. If you've not read that book, I highly recommend it. You can listen to it for free on YouTube. And if you have read it, though, let me know in the comments what you got from that. It did help me a lot a few years ago with hypochondria, with disease and health phobia, and a lot of my trauma. It really did help me to shift and see things a lot differently. So, signs that you've been doing the work. How do you know you've truly been doing the work? I want you to look for these signs. You pause before responding instead of reacting impulsively. So you stop and you be still and you remember who the fuck you are. You are less triggered by situations that used to emotionally pull you in. You observe old patterns with curiosity, like watching a movie, but without the same intensity. And perhaps the most significant sign of them all is that you feel a new sense of freedom and choice in how you respond to life. The power of choice. I've done some videos on this. Please check them out if you want to, if you feel called to. And one thing for me is noticing where I lack shame and guilt, where I lack these lingering thoughts, or lacking things like insomnia, because I used to lay in bed at night and think about things over and over and over again. Oh, why did I react like that? So-and-so probably thinks this about me. They're probably talking about it with other people. I've got to fix this problem. And that would just go on and drive me fucking crazy. But I remember when, and that's no longer happening. That's a sign. So, becoming the curious witness of your own life is truly a powerful shift. Remember, doing inner work doesn't mean you'll never feel triggered again, but it doesn't mean you'll start responding or reacting from that same old way that you were before. It's different. And if you have a moment of being triggered, you can move out of it quicker. Scan for that. Notice how different that is. And just remember that you will respond with more presence, more awareness, and more choice as you continue on this path as a conscious creator, as the curious witness. You'll see those old patterns fade as you reclaim your energy, your true power, and you align with the person that you're becoming, stepping into the best version of yourself, capital S. That is my mission, that is my purpose, to guide you on your path to becoming your best self. And this is the work, guys. And it may not be easy at times, but it gets easier. Just frame things differently and know that you are not alone. No matter what's going on in your life, wherever you are in this world, this too shall pass. If you want to have changes, that's step one. Acknowledge that. So if this resonates with you, please hit that like button, subscribe, share your thoughts in the comments. And I want to know, have you noticed any of these signs in yourself? Keep going. The work you're doing really, really matters. And the rewards are within reach. Reach inside. And you are amazing. I will see you next time, guys.